Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudhirayet. Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityaṁ bhāgavata-sevayā. Bhagavati Uttama-shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtaki. Ārādhayo Bhagavan Vrajeshatanayas Tadhama Vrindavanam. Ramya Kachitupasana Vrajavadhu Vargena va Kalpita. Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam pramanamamalam prema pumartho maha. Śrī Caitanya Mahāprabhu matamidam tatradharana para. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishthaya Bhutale Śrīmate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Devi Gauravani Pracharine. Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschata Deshatarine. Jai Śrī Caitanya Prabhu Nityaṁ. Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Kṛṣṇa, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Namami Damodara Pankajam. Karomi Damodara Pujanam Sada. Vadami Damodara Nama Nirmalam. Smarami Damodara Leela Sundaram. Hare Krishna, dear worshipable devotees, please accept my humble obeisance. Thank you so much for joining. We are reading Srimad-Bhāgavatam on this wonderful occasion of Kartik month, Damodar Leela Deepavali, at the home of Krishna and Lakshay. So we are very, very blessed to be here in the new Raman Reti Dham, which is actually non-different. There's so many devotees, so many senior Vaishnavas, so many Prabhupada disciples, such wonderful deities, devotees, cows, festivals. It certainly feels different, as if you have actually entered the Vrindavan, which is non-different. So Prabhupada's mercy that he has built so many holy places all around the world. So those who can't go to Vrindavan as often as they would want to go, or as often they desire to go, they can still be at these holy places. Practically all the countries, all the continents, so many holy places Prabhupada has built, all these ISKCON temples, his centers, homes of devotees. So thank you so much. We are reading this chapter entitled The Deliverance of the Yamala Arjuna trees. Yamala means basically two. Yamala, twin, twin trees, as Prabhupada mentions at few places. So there were two big trees. And they're white colored, white bark is mentioned at certain places. So the Supreme Lord is actually explaining in the last few verses. We just have two more verses in this chapter, but Krishna has relieved them. And a beautiful lesson comes from this pastime, that even though we may be in the state of bondage, where Krishna was in the state of bondage, he was bound by the ropes, but he was still trying to deliver others. Isn't that amazing? So His Holiness Indradumna Maharaj was explaining in his class that although we may be also bound, I am bound by modes of material nature, Satogun, Rajagun, Tamogun, primarily Tamogun, but still, if we sincerely try to follow, genuinely try to practice Krishna consciousness, try to practice the principles given by our founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada and our spiritual masters, then it's not that we are bound, it's we are connected to what? That's more important. Like the Ukhala was connected to Krishna and then Ukala delivered. Similarly, the glory lies in what we are connected to, not what we are. We may be Ukala. I am Ukala, Jar. No intelligence, no nothing. But by the mercy of the spiritual master, Mukam karoti vachalam pangum langayate girimit kripatamaham vande Shri Guru Dinatharinam Paramananda Madhavam Śrī Caitanya-caritāmṛta. So what we are connected to is more important. In India, you may have seen this. Sometimes, maybe I have actually done that also. You, like a tractor is going and you are on a bicycle. You hold the tractor. Has anyone done that? Or in India, they do that quite often. I'm not sure now, but yeah, since they rose racing. So what happened? You don't have to pedal the bicycle. It becomes like an electric. It basically runs with the speed of the tractor without effort, because you're like holding to that. So what we are holding to is more important. So if we just hold on to Srila Prabhupada's movement, which is ISKCON, then we will also become purified. We'll also get a lot of mercy. So with that, let's read a verse. So we read text 41 last time. We'll do 42. Tadgachatam matparamau nalkuvara sadanam sadhanam sanjato mai bhavo vam ipsita paramo bhavaha. Translation and purport by A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Śrīla Prabhupada ki jai. O Nal Kuvera and Manigriva, now you may both return home. Since you desire to be always absorbed in my devotional service, your desire to develop love and affection for me will be fulfilled. And now you will never fall from that platform. Oh, wow. Isn't that amazing? Purport, small purport. The highest perfection of life is to come to the platform of devotional service and always engage in devotional activities. Understanding this, Nalkuver and Manigriv desire to attain that platform, and the Supreme Personality of Godhead blessed them with the fulfillment of their desire, transcendental desire. So it is so beautiful. Here we see that prior to getting the mercy of Narad Muni, the mercy of Yashoda, the mercy of Krishna, the mercy of Ukal, all were instruments in delivering them. What was their desire? Their main desire was sense gratification. They were absorbed in sense gratification in the Mandakini Ganga. And I was hearing a class again, it is okay, one could be just having a fun time or so-called fun time in the one's pool. That's still okay. Or maybe amusement park. But to have a time of sense gratification in Mother Ganga, that's like a no-no. So Mandakini Ganga, there are certain holy places. Ganga is not meant to just frolic or, intoxicate. If one is, people do those activities in their own pool, maybe, doing some intoxication or something. But to go to a holy place and do that, holy places are not meant for that. They're meant for spiritual advancement. So I was hearing that Narad Muni would have not gone. I'm sure, a normal, nice person, like rich person in this world may have a pool or a farmhouse or something. What to speak of Nalkur and Manigriv? They didn't have pools, they didn't have farmhouse, they didn't have vacation retreat spots. Certainly, tons and tons of those. But they chose a place near the Kailash. And Narad Muni, really, that's basically spiritual madness, spiritual blindness, which Narad Muni could not tolerate for their own good, for Nalkur and Manigriv's good. So basically, we are comparing now the before and the after. Before, completely spiritually blind, materially blind, infatuated with opposite desires, opposite sex desires, intoxication, etc., etc. But look at their situation now. By the mercy of Narad Muni and Krishna, what the Supreme Lord is saying here, your devotional desire, like they express a lot of prayers. In the past, we have read that almost like there were 15 verses, 10 to 15 verses where they have expressed their prayers. May our hands be engaged in your service. May our head be always bowing down to you. May our desires be always devotional. May we always be under the association of devotees, and so on. And many, many desires. So it's very, very similar to the prayers of Maharaj Amrisha. Savai manah Krishna parara vindayo vacham sivai kuntha gunanu varnane karo mandir hari ramarjana dishu shrutim chakar achyuta sadkathodaye. 3 verses that come in Prabhupada quotes many, many times. So all your desire to develop love and affection for me will be fulfilled. Krishna is directly telling this. Me means here Krishna is speaking these verses. The Bal Gopal, Damodar is speaking. And you will never fall down from that platform. Once burnt, twice shy, right? Yad gatva nani vartante tad dhama param mama. Krishna is personally guaranteeing you will never fall down. That means if sincerely we go through the process of repentance, reformation, they realize their mistake. They got the mercy. Same with Narad Muni also. He also, was like an Apsara before, and then later he realized and became the son of the maidservant, and then later became Narada. So similarly, in this case also, we can see quite similar situation. They were in the upper planets. They came down, but they got good mercy. Narad Muni got the association of Bhaktivedantas. Here, Nalkur Manigriva got association of Krishna himself. In one way, his association of Bhaktivedanta is even more powerful, as you all know, that devotees are more powerful than Krishna. But Krishna is assuring that you will not fall down. So this is also the hope for us also. That yes, we may have done many, many activities in the past which were not conducive to the bhakti, but now we have attained the shelter of Guru Krishna, and bhāgavata-sevayā Prabhu just got initiated. So thank you, Prabhu. Vipul Prabhu has now become bhāgavata-sevayā Prabhu. Hare Kṛṣṇa. From His Holiness Loknath Maharaj, he went to India, just came 2 days back. Hare Kṛṣṇa. And Mataji, Sundari Revati Mataji, right? Hare Kṛṣṇa. This is very nice. We are so happy for you. And ones who sincerely gets the shelter of Guru and engages in your devotional service, certainly. This is our mood, this is our mission. So we're very happy, Prabhu, for you. Any thoughts, comments, any additions? Anyone wants to? Yeah, please.
Hare Kṛṣṇa. Dandat Pranam devotees. Do you all like to tell this please? Yeah. Text 43. Śrī Śuka uvacha ityukto tau parikramya pranamya cha puna puna buddho lukha lamana mantrya jagmatur disham uttaram. Translation purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Sukadeva Goswami said, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, having spoken to the 2 demigods in this way, they circumambulated the Lord, who was bound to the wooden altar, and offered obeisances to him. After taking the permission of Lord Krishna, they returned to their respective homes. Purport. Thus end the Bhaktivedanta purports of the 10th canto, 10th chapter of the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, entitled Deliverance of Yamala Arjuna Trees. So we see that in the climax of Krishna conscious story is that any tendencies that keep us away from Krishna are destroyed, and Krishna gives us bhakti, and who wouldn't want that? So here they circumambulate the Lord, which is a very pious activity, and they who was bound to wooden mortar, and then they went back to their abode actually, and they complete their service, and then they never come back to this material world. Back to you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Mataji. Anyone recalls what was the first thing they did when they got darshan of Krishna after coming out of the body? The first time they saw Krishna?
Offered obeisances.
Offered obeisances, yes. Offered obeisances, pranam. Then they offered prayers. And see, we have to see like a little bit, go deeper in the prayers also. If we see that prayers have three elements, or multiple elements, but if we see here, first talk about the greatness of the personality. As an list, oh, I need this, I need that, I need. Whenever we meet Krishna, we offer obeisance, first of all, or even any great personality. We offer pranams. And even if we have to share our heart, ask something, tell something, we are going through something which we want some suggestion, guidance, whatever. But that should not be the first thing to bring to their attention. First, what they spoke about, if we recall the prayers, greatness of Krishna. Krishna Krishna Mahayogin Tvamadya Purusha Paraha Vyakta Vyakta Idam Vishwam Rupam Te Brahmana Viduhu Namaha Parama Kalyana Namaha Parama Mangala Vasudevaya Shantaya Yadunam Pataye Namaha. Anyone recalls that verse we learned? Remember? So you see, these are not talking about their challenges. They're talking about Krishna's greatness there. That you are Parama Mangala, you are most, Parama Purusha, etc. A lot of adjectives are used. Then they also talk about greatness of Narad Muni. It is only because of the Narad's mercy. Then they also talk about, these are like different topics I'm trying to cover. Krishna's greatness, greatness of devotees. They're grateful. They're grateful about the mercy of devotees. And they're also cognizant about their mistake. Very important. They're saying, we were, into avidya. It is Narad's mercy who was helpful, and he gave us the curse in a form of a blessing, actually. So that's another element. Our data. But that comes later, because humility means to think not less of oneself, but of oneself less, something like that. Humility does not mean to think less of oneself, but to think of oneself less. It's not that, oh, I'm most fallen, I'm the most patita, there is no one more for me, I'm your das. The prominent thing, I. The point is, we should glorify Krishna more. One time, His Grace Radheshyam Prabhu was glorifying His Grace Gauranga Prabhu. He was about to give a class, and he gave, this IIT and this medal and that, and like for 10 minutes he spoke about, how Gauranga Prabhu is such a great devotee, and which is nice, which is very nice gesture as a god brother and as a, to glorify. But what Gauranga Prabhu said, well, if I try to talk about all that, what he probably spoke, it will take 30 minutes, so better I start Krishna Katha. So I really like that. So So yeah, so the point was, then they talk about their humility, and then they also express their desire. Not to give wealth, not to give this, not that. Varam deva moksham na mokshavadim va na chanyavraneham varishadapiha. Idam teva purnatha gopal balam sadame manasya virastam kimani. When Satyavat Muni is not asking, well, see, you may say, well, it's not mentioning about na dhanam, na janam, na sundarim. Moksha is kind of dharma, artha, kama, moksha, right? Is the topmost amongst the four purusharthas. Of course, the pancham purushartha is Krishna prem, which actually Satyavat Muni is asking. But in general, a lot of people may think wealth as the param purushartha, but that's actually the lowest. So the point here is that na dhanam, na janam, na sundari. They're not asking. In fact, they are very cognizant that it was the wealth. And Narad Muni also said that amongst these four difficult situations, wealth is the most troublesome. And they have experienced it. They have realized it. So they're not asking, oh, give us more wealth. So, or we can go back to that private pool party and we can do it, right? So they are asking for spiritual desires. And that's what Krishna is saying here. Now we come to the spiritual desires, that all their desires were fulfilled. All their desires were fulfilled. And then before they go, we offer pranams, we offer circumambulation, pradakshina. So this is a nice thing. We see from Nalkur and Manigriva, what to do before when we meet deities, when we meet devotees, offer pranams, offer vandana, a lot of prayers about Krishna's greatness, prayers about one's fallen state, and asking for spiritual desires. Krishna, please help me intensify my japa. Please help me to serve devotees more. I'm going through this struggle. I need your help so I can be a better devotee. These are nice prayers from your heart. And always, Krishna, I'm so grateful that you gave me association of Prabhupada and the devotees and the temple. Whatever we are grateful for spiritual mercy which we have obtained, we should express that. Gratitude must be expressed, right? We should express. And then after, we have to come back. Let's say we go to the temple, we have to come back to do our duties and have family, home, all that. So we can circumambulate if possible, or at least offer pranams again. That's what we see. So Krishna told them, hey, you please go do your business. Because Raja Dham is actually a place of Krishna's divine Leela, and the rasa is different. You see, Nalkun Manigriva, the rasa is different, and Krishna knows that. Now the parents, already the friends had seen all that, and later they're going to narrate it to the elders, but elders were not there. The point is that the friends of Krishna saw all this, that these two transcendental personalities coming, they're offering prayers. All this is going live in front of their eyes, Krishna's friends. But the elders are going to come now very soon, because the news has reached to them. Like, look, because you remember, it was like a hurricane, 2 big trees falling was no like small thing. Just think about 2 big trees, if they fall, it is mentioned, it was like a big commotion. And now the news has reached and they're going to come. So therefore Krishna is telling, now, you please carry on with your duties, which they did, which they circumambulated, and they returned to their respective home. That basically ends this chapter. The main lesson in this chapter, which I really like, is basically the transformation of Nalkur and Manigriva, from their spiritual blindness state and the mercy of Narad Muni, being receptive to the curse. Being receptive to the curse. Curse is a very, very big thing. If someone says even little small thing to us, we may take it, oh, why he said this, we may try to justify. The person who is puffed up with ego and may give a lot of excuses, that, oh, no, I am doing the right thing, but you maybe didn't understand me. They didn't say no. They just accepted that yes, we were wrong. We didn't realize we didn't properly pay attention or respect to Narada. Rather than trying to justify, they were grateful to Narada Muni. They accepted the blessings of Narada Muni in the form of a curse, or they accepted the curse in the form of Narada Muni in the form of a blessing, actually, just for their purification. And the result, look at the result. Krishna himself is telling that you'll never fall down. What could be a better thing? So this is a beautiful chapter entitled The Deliverance of Yamala Arjuna Trees, and a lot of very nice lessons also. So let's take some thoughts, some reflections, something anyone wants to share, add, or comment. If anyone likes something, yeah, I can sit here, bro. So, to see. Anyone wants to share something?
Hare Kṛṣṇa, Prabhuji. Yeah, as you always say, Prabhuji, so actually, whatever we get from devotees, even if it is a curse, but it is actually for their, good being. It's actually boon. So as we know that even though Narada Muni cursed, but it actually became a boon, because even after performing so many yajnas and hundreds of, no one can get darshan of Lord Krishna, and that too in his when he's small, right? So, but Nalakuver and Manigriva were able to witness all the wonderful pastimes of Gokula, and it's a wonderful punishment, I would say. Even though it was a punishment, it was actually boon. So association of devotees is very, very important. Thank you, Prabhu.
Very well. Thank you so much, Prabhu. It's a very nice point. Association.
So, I missed a lot of classes. So I have one quick gross question, that when they are doing misdeeds, the two brothers and Narad Muni cursed them, and they became Jamarjan trees, and they're standing there and watching Krishna pastimes. So when their mind transformed as a devotee by seeing the activities of the Lord Krishna, because they are just standing as trees, in between they have no other association or anything. And how come they became a devotee and desiring to serve or activities that we just read?
Yeah, it's a combination of multiple things we discussed. It's a very nice question. So first of all, Sadhu Sangha. The moment Narad Muni gave the curse, it is at that time only he said, that, they were a little bit, like, can we do something about the curse? But the curse once spoken, cannot. But the kind of the asterisk was, you will be delivered by Krishna himself. You are not born a tree in the jungles of Africa. You're born a tree in the courtyard of Nanda Maharaj. That's a blessing. So their transformation starts that very moment, that Shana. At that very moment, the beginning of transformation starts. But at the time, everything has its own time, and things, like, they were repentant. That's, just sadhu sangha is not sufficient. Many people saw Prabhupada. Of course, they will come to bhakti, just by seeing a sadhu or sadhu. But someone asked this question, like, why do then some people don't come? Like, they meet great soul and they may just, like, they may just look at him and just keep doing their own business. So it's not just sadhu sangha, it's the one's attitude also, the degree they want to receive. So Nalkur and Manigriva they realized their mistake. They were repentant about the things they were doing, not offering respect, they were remorseful, and they were feeling sad about their whole story. And then they also, in the tree body, they were kind of cognizant of their past by the mercy of Narad Muni, and they were also having darshan of Krishna. So purification is gradually happening, and then of course, if Narad Muni has told that Krishna will come and then deliver you, so how many days and months and years passed? I think 100 years is mentioned, right? 100 celestial years, yeah. There were trees for a very long time. So in short, they are doing a lot of tapasya, right? Or like going through that is itself their purification also. For example, if a child is given punishment, right, for the things they have done wrong, it's basically their purification. If the criminal is sentenced to jail, the idea is purification. So being in the tree body is basically meant for their purification, so that, and they're cognizant, and they're seeing Krishna, and then finally Krishna's divine darshan. So all that, is basically based on the discussion and the verses, is led to their transformation.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, just now you said that Narad you said that Narad Muni, when they punish those two guys, he said that after 100 years, Lord Krishna will come and they will save you again. So how Narad Muni knows that after 100 years, Krishna will arrive in that land? Because we don't know about our future, and we don't know about means what will happen in future. But how Narad Muni knows about that Krishna will arrive after 100 years in this world?
Very nice question. 100 celestial years, actually. Very nice question. Yes. What to speak of future? If you ask me, hey, what did you eat 5 days back? Lunch. Main kya khaya? Can anyone tell? 5 days, we a little bit thinking, oh, where was I 5 days back? Especially like me, where was I 5 days? I'm here, there. So which home was it? Which program was it? Okay, still after some thought, maybe I'll be able to. 50 days back, what did you eat on lunch? Can you tell me? It's so hard. 50 years back, or let's say we're not 50 years, some of you are not 50 years old. 5 years back, can someone tell? What did you eat on this day on October 24th, 2017? What did you eat? What to speak of future? We can't even tell about past. Are present mein phone ka rakha hai, why nahi malum? My phone is missing. Right? Did I keep it there in my bag, in my car, in my this, and I like searching everywhere. I don't know what the present on me, what to speak of future. But there's a big but here. Narad Muni is not an ordinary soul. Narad Muni is called Trikalagya. These great personalities know past, present, and future. Not only Narad Muni, our dear Srila Prabhupada, he pointed at KM Munshi Marg and Sri Radha Gopinath Mandir. He pointed, standing at the junction, the Choraya, there will be a temple there. 20 years or something years later, 10 years later, a beautiful temple, ISKCON Chowpatty, turned up there. Many, many places, many, many miracles like this. I mean, they thought like a miracle. I mean, for them, it's Prabhupada started ISKCON Society with 5-6 members. International Society for Krishna Consciousness. So many things. So they know past, present, and future. And especially a great soul like Narad Muni, they are not ordinary. So it may be hard in our tiny intelligence to fit these examples, these connections, but we have to, and this is like proven time and again. What to speak of, I mean, even like up to few hundred years ago, there are so many people who could tell what date they will going to die. Very many people could tell. Even this science of astrology, what is that, right? Of course, nowadays it's a lot of like bogus things going on the name of astrology and all that. But like how Nandanacharya, he would see the, what do you call that? He came to see. We read in chapter 6, I believe, or 4 or 5 in the beginning when he came for the Namkaran ceremony, right? Which was happened in the Goshala. He could tell what Krishna will do in the past. Even the so there were multiple Narad Muni is very like way, he's one of the great Mahajans, but even up to a few hundred years back, people could tell a lot of future things. Of course, but here the Narad Muni's case is not like that. He's a much elevated soul who could tell. The Valmiki Ramayana also. At what tense it's written? Past, present, or future? So it's actually in all 3 tenses. So when Valmiki ji wrote, some things had already happened, some things were happening, and some things would be coming, but he knew about those. That how Lord Ram will do that. I don't know at what point that changes the context, but it is so like beautifully mentioned there. Yeah. Absolutely, yes. See, that's the point there. Like Valmiki Muni wrote in the future tense, and likh diya waise, everything was happening, as it is, like that. So there are multiple such examples.
For example, pure devotee like Prahlad, Narada, when they say automatically Krishna will make sure that happen. That's what I feel.
Absolutely. Because they are completely, one, not in like merging, one with the Lord. That's like being one with the Lord. They understand the heart of the Lord. Śrī Caitanya-caritāmṛta sthapitam yena bhutale. They understand the heart of the Lord, what the Lord wants. And that's basically a first-class devotee. Amongst the 5 classes of students, 5 classes of disciples, the first-class student, first-class disciple, first-class child understands the heart of the teacher or the parent. So, does that help?
Yes. Again, today I asked so many questions.
Your questions are very good. Please keep them coming.
Yeah. So, in my thinking, I thought that maybe God, Krishna loves his devotees, and whenever he says something, so Krishna always listens.
So another thing to remember is that Lord's incarnations are scheduled, and Krishna always appears in the one day of Brahma during this 27th Yuga, an exact time in which he appears in the Dwapar Yuga, 5,000 years before Dwapar Yuga stops. And another thing to remember that not only that, his potency is so much. I mean, you tell somebody, oh, you will become a tree. It's not going to happen. It takes a lot of potency to say something and that to manifest. A lot of potency. And third is he's a Jagat Guru actually. Narad Muni is not ordinary soul. He's the spiritual master of Vyasadeva, which is literally incarnation of Krishna. He's a spiritual master of Valmiki Rishi, who wrote Ramayana. He is spiritual master of so many others, Narad, Dhruva Maharaj, Prahlad Maharaj, and many others, Chitraketu. And he's traveling everywhere just with Veena. Imagine if your lifespan was few trillion years and you said, okay, you won't travel just with Veena everywhere. So Narad Muni is a very, very advanced soul. Thank you, Guru.
Very cool.
Yes, Prabhuji. So Prabhuji, in my thinking, maybe I'm incorrect. In my thinking, Krishna loved his devotees, and whenever he saw that his devotees say something, he wants to make it true, and he loves his. When his devotees says that his greatest devotees Narad Muni says that he will arrive after 100 years. So he wants to make it true. So that's why he came. In my thinking, I think in that way, so that he shows his loves to his devotees.
Very nice. That's very true. And the devotee loves the Lord. Lord loves his devotee. So the devotee would not want to call the Lord when the time is not scheduled. So that's also, and so they both are in one, like that they understand each other so well and they love each other so well, like, so they have a very good understanding, you can say, yes. So they will call at the right time. So he told, okay, he'll come after 100 years because he knows his time also schedule comes and all this activity is going to happen. So he knows all that. So yes, but that's also a very beautiful reason that yes, the Lord comes. And actually that's the main reason. Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkritam. The primary reason is to prahlad ahlad dadahine. Prahlad ko anand dene ke liye. Hiranyakashipu ko to he could have killed by any means. But the main reason was to give joy to Prahlad. The main reason here, Narad Muni said, and actually Acharyas mentioned, why did Krishna look towards the Yamala tree? And it's mentioned here, Krishna looked towards Yamala trees. Not because his main interest was to deliver those trees. The main interest was to give pleasure to Narada. Narada told, okay, the main lesson is bhakti vashyata. I am bound by the love of my devotee. My devotee said, if my devotee, His Grace, Sarvabhauma Prabhu was explaining this, Narada. Narada. Rad means like, jiski application kabhi rad nahi hoti. If he applies, he does a recommendation letter in the assembly or in the that, oh, Krishna gave him love of Godhead. Uski application rad nahi hoti. You understand? That means his recommendation, that person will get the job of love of Godhead. There is no scope of denial. Why? Because Krishna is bound by the love of devotee like Narada. I think Bhaswati Mataji wants to add. Her hand is up. Yeah, please speak, Mataji.
Hare Kṛṣṇa, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. This chapter, I'll have two reflections. I mean, there's 2 points I think I should discuss with you and to also clear up myself. So here, the Nolakubera and Monikriva actually set up an example of wealthy and has wealth as well as false prestige. So because of this wealth and false prestige, they forgot to show respect to Narad Muni. So therefore, Narad Muni is giving them curse to be a tree. The tree has no consciousness. So, and also they're dull. So that's what here Prabhupada explained in the purports in this chapter, that how temporary those wealth and false prestiges are. And that's why Narad Muni actually gave this curse to give them lesson. Because rich person, they don't show respect, or they don't care about giving respect to the people. But poor person, they have no such respect. They don't expect respect from other people because they are poor. And so these are very, it stuck on me, like wealth and false prestiges. So meaningless actually, because today if maybe someone is very wealthy and they have prestige because of they have money, but maybe tomorrow, who knows, they will be in the street beggar. Because actually just today it happened, I came to know that a big faculty who in our institution, he was in the institution for like maybe 30 years, and then he just got fired. No one knows why. There are some, maybe something it's very serious. So he has so much prestige, everything he had, big lab, wealthy, but suddenly everything's just gone. So it's a very big lesson to in this material world too. Like you never know what could be happen tomorrow. And that's the first point. And the second point is Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is Bhakt Vatsala. So he cares about his devotee, but he doesn't care about who has much wealth or position, because he is the supreme of, and he is the top of everyone in this world. So, but because of Narada Muni, he gave darshan and he delivered Nalakubera and Munigriva. So the Supreme Personality of Godhead is merciful, and he is merciful to his devotee, but he doesn't care about other people. If his devotee says yes, he will do that. So that's 2 points, Prabhuji, I'd like to share. Hare Kṛṣṇa.
Very well. Thank you, Mataji, for your wonderful thoughts and lessons from this verse, this chapter. E dhana yauvana putra parijana ithe kiyache parati tire. Dhan, yauvan, putra parijan, wealth, knowledge, beauty, youth, children. When the real test comes, and whether one is millionaire or billionaire, it all just becomes zero. What happens is like how much Krishna conscience we have accumulated. Thank you. Anyone else? Any thoughts? Lakshay, what did you learn from this chapter?
That whatever that a pure devotee says will become true, because Krishna is blinded by the love of his devotees, and a great personality's curse is actually a blessing in disguise.
Very nice. Thank you. Excellent. Very nice. So curse in this case also represents sometimes, like we may not be cursed. Curses, it can also be like chastisement, right? Or heavy words, sometimes like words. So we should also receive those. In general, like even a senior Vaishnava or spiritual master will not curse us. Hey, you go to hell. Like that's like too, like in materialistic language. They'll not say like that, right? Maybe they may say a little bit, please be more careful about your service, right? Because or please, whatever, even small chastisement, or the child, if they're watching a lot of video games, they please, this is not good for your physical and mental and spiritual health. Please cut down on your video game. Just giving an example, like they will not say, if you watch video game, you'll go to hell or something. That's like too bad. But so we have to at least just like the practical lesson we can think. But very nice points. Anyone? Any last closing 1 or 2 points anyone has before we wrap up?
And also 2 things. One was that Nalkuvar and Managriva, their one good quality was they did not speak back to Narad Muni. So we may get chastisement from seniors, and the best thing to do is to just keep quiet, listen, and be humble. And second thing is that it's very important to see that they went back to their service in Swarga, although it's in their heaven, they went back to their service. So we may also see our spiritual master, or we may do some service at the temple, and then we carry that mood onwards. We never stop there. Those two things.
Very nice. Thank you so much, Mataji, for sharing that. Anyone else before we close for today?
Hare
Yes.
Hare Kṛṣṇa, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Prabhuji, this 10th canto is a nice chapter, and also so many good verses also we learn here. And thank you, Prabhuji, that you explained it properly and also clear our doubt. And few verses, Prabhuji, we discuss about that soul and body. And in Bhagavad Gita also, like Prabhupada has explained properly, like we are the soul, we are not the body. But Prabhuji, in practically, if we see in the daily life, mostly we are doing our job or whatever to satisfy our body, right? Our panchandriya and our mind and intelligence. Those things every time we are utilizing to satisfy our body. And how, Prabhuji, that even we know that we are the soul. So Prabhuji, what we need to do, like to most of the time that our mind, soul, and our panchandriya, they will engage with the soul and they will satisfy the soul. Prabhuji, can you just answer, Prabhuji, 2 points on that? Maybe time is less, so can you suggest on that?
Yeah, we have to keep doing what you're already doing. You're so humbly serving Prabhupada, reading Bhagavatam, having good association, offering food to Krishna, and then taking remnants as prasad, doing your work dutifully, that I'm not doing it for my sense gratification, using some portion of our income for Krishna conscious charity, prasad distribution, book distribution, temple, other services, donation, cow protection, etc., etc., based on our interest and circumstances, at least some portion. Reading, hearing, it's like charging our battery. We may read one time, but again we'll forget after a week. But if we read every day, trust me, this may sound very simple, but this class or this reading group is like charging our batteries. It's like the iPhone or whatever phones we have need battery, need juice, right? So this, sometimes we may do something and we will not feel it's acting something like brushing our teeth. But if we don't do it, we will feel that, it's something critical is missing. So, but this is like, so this is basically we are nurturing our soul, eating Krishna Prasad. You can make to cut down non-prasad items, and if it's already low, to completely just get rid of non-prasad, market food, or so anything we should just like minimize and just eventually cut down completely. We are not vegetarians or vegans, we are prasad, we have to eat prasad. So because it's for the soul, then always be mindful, reading, hearing, association. Process is very simple, right? And helping senior Vaishnavas, helping Prabhupada's movement. This is all on the spiritual platform. We are not on the the worldly compassion. And yes, we have compassion. In fact, I was about to share that this chapter talks a lot about empathy. My wife was recently sharing with me, she read an article shared by Senior Vaishnava, I think he was on Sachidanand Maharaj. A research was done that who are more compassionate. And it was found, it was not about ISKCON, it was done a general research that people who are into spirituality are less compassionate than others. Then who are like not connected to any spiritual organization. It was very generic, so we can't like say for ISKCON also, but at least there is some substance there, right? They're less compassionate, and it happens also. We have seen, there are a lot of good videos also in this regard. That sometimes we may become too possessive that my, thing is the best, and if someone does not follow it, is basically rascal number one, and his life is doomed and stuff like that. And that's what basically fanatism is, right? If you don't follow this, then you are going to hell. If you don't follow my path, then you are the worst in the world. And then it will just make our heart hard. But this whole chapter talks about softness of heart. So many examples were shared, like the woman who has lost her child can understand. And we see that. The person who has been through poverty can experience the pain of others, right? Paradukha dukhi. So this is all on the spiritual platform, not just on the bodily platform. Narad Muni was not just on the bodily level. So it all comes through following all these principles, which you're already doing very nicely. Just keep doing. And even in the work time, we can take a pause, as in when situation allows, after every 2-3 hours, maybe read a verse, maybe chant a mantra, chant a prayer, something. So like that, we have to somehow or the other remember Krishna, call a devotee, do some follow-up. Okay, you met some new people in MSF, maybe check how they are doing, tell them about the Govardhan program. This is basically help us to be on the spiritual platform. So there's some thoughts. Again, nothing new, we're just repeating same thing.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Yeah, this chapter talks really a lot about empathy. We should, I was thinking that like how we have a Gita handout for lust, go to this verse, for anger, go to this verse, for loss of a dear one, go to this. I was maybe in one of my desires to develop something for Bhagavatam. So for empathy, refer this section, loss of a dear one, refer this section, talking about friendship, refer this section. It'll be so nice and helpful. And then we can share that with the Bhagavatam distribution. Maybe someone should, maybe Nandini Mataji can help to develop that. It'll be very helpful to, people like to get a quick, and that handout which we have is very helpful in sharing Gita. A lot of people get inspired during the MSFs, and it really helps to give a summary. So same for Bhagavatam. And this section is certainly empathy. Talks a lot about empathy. Those discussion of Narad Muni to why he, again, a very beautiful lesson. Narad Muni just didn't give them a curse. He also explained why I'm doing this to you. That's a good teacher's sign. Hey, it's not that he was venting out his frustration or anger. You didn't disrespect me was not the case. Amani na manadena, right? If someone didn't respect Narad Muni, I think we discussed it. That's not a big deal. He's not demanding respect. The main point was not he was disrespect. The main point was he could not tolerate such nice people, good culture, like son of Kuvera, associate of Lord Shiva, but so spiritually fallen. He could not tolerate that. Prabhupada could not tolerate the suffering of all these, the topmost city in the world, New York, thinking that they're everything, but inside it's all shallow. Prabhupada could not tolerate. That's why he came. Paradukha dukhi. It's all about empathy and compassion. Again, on the spiritual platform. Okay, so we will pause here. Grantaraj Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam Purana ki jai, Śrī Prabhupada ki jai, Samaveta Gaur Bhaktavinda ki jai, Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripasindabhyevacha cha, Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Thank you. Happy Diwali. Hari Bol. Happy Tamil.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Kṛṣṇa.